World War II, there was not enough men. Now, because it was built by women, it came in under budget. It came in on time. And the rock that they used was a very expensive stone called Portland stone that self-cleans when it rains. How clever were the ladies? Give them a round of applause, everybody. One more thing, they designed it to look like seagulls. So you'll see the beaks in the middle with the large wingspans either side. Absolutely. Back on the roading, it looks like a multi-storey car park, but it is our Royal National Theatre. When Prince Charles opened that building, everyone, he said it was the ugliest thing he had ever seen. But don't judge a book by its cover. It has three of the finest theatres in the world. The finest is founder of that theatre, Sir Laurence Olivier. Most of the buildings from the London Eye all the way down here are to do with performing arts, and that is called the South Bank over there. A little tip for you: you can walk from the London Eye down to Tower Bridge in around about 1.5 hours, and if you go on that side of the river, there's lots of entertainment, bars and food stalls to keep you occupied. So if you're here for a few days, make the most of the South Bank and have a walk on that side, or you can go from Tower Bridge all the way back up again. Originally part of the New Zealand War Fleet, it is a livery hall, better known as a social club. If you become a Master Mariner, it takes 25 years at sea to become one. You get invited to this club. It is very exclusive. King Charles is the president. It doesn't matter what country you come from or what nationality you are. If you come into London, that is your bar, your Oxo Tower. Former home to the Oxo gravy. You know your beef cubes you put in hot water, put over your Sunday roast? I take it you've all had a Sunday roast. If you haven't, get to a pub on Sunday. But that's where it all happened. But it has always been illegal to advertise your company name, as the royal family own 200 miles of the River Thames. So what the Oxo people decided to have, at the top, you've got the very exclusive Harvey Nichols restaurant. It is voted one of the top 10 restaurants every year in London. And then all of the flats you can see underneath, they are given to families. Left that building, they left it behind for people who would be in desperate need. So if you buy your gravy, try and buy Oxo folks, because there are no companies that will leave a building like that behind in central London. Coming up here on the right hand side, we've got a funny glass shaped tower. We name all our towers. We call this one the Kim Kardashian. The lady Michael in the Pier down. But at the very top of it, there is a penthouse suite. It will take you and your car in your own lift to the very top of it. It's very James Bond. It's actually #1 Black Prize. The building next to it is #2 Black Prize, and that will become the tallest residential block of flats in London. The only way they can build is upwards. And then we have the Black Prize bridges, named after the monastery. It used to be over here on our north bank. As we approach these bridges, if you look at the top, you'll see the pulpits. They were the only things that survived the original monastery. And if you look underneath the pulpits, you will see birds inscribed into the pillars. They're on every single pillar on this side of the bridge. These birds on this side are freshwater birds, and when we get through to the other side, they are saltwater birds. And this is the line across here that denotes the changing point in the tide from freshwater to saltwater. It's called brackish water. Bridge was the ladies' bridge. That guardrail bridge we're about to go under was definitely the men's bridge. This was designed and built by men. Can you guess what I'm going to tell you, ladies? Who said over budget? Correct. How much over budget? How many billions? solar panels. It produces enough power to raise the percentage of the station. And then we have to take one home here. The only building that was open twice by the Queen. Once is the power station, once is the modern art gallery. And you'll see at the top it says free and open to all. You turn up, you scan the QR code and you walk straight in. If it's a rainy day, you get your families in there, folks. You can spend half a day in there easily around. It's absolutely colossal in that modern art gallery. And back on the left then, you have St Paul's Cathedral, designed by Christopher Wren, called it his masterpiece. There is a bylaw in London. You are not allowed to build either side or in front of the gold cross at the top. As from up there, you must have sight of the two royal parks, one down in Greenwich and one up in Bridgman. And you can go right to the top of St Paul's. There's a view platform up there, 520 steps to get up there. There is no lift. If you're planning that climb, make sure you've had some windings in the morning. Do we have any Harry Potter fans? If we do, look on the left. The City of London School with the silver crest. That's where the actor Daniel Radcliffe went to school. Also Boris Johnson went there. Now the fees are very expensive, folks. So if you send your children there, make sure they come out with some sort of magical powers. And then we have the Millennium Wobbly Bridge. Blamed on people walking across for its wobbliness. It remained closed for 1 year. A very expensive report came back, and the report said it was the way people walked across it that made it wobbly. So guess what? They reopened the bridge. Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince was made on this bridge. Guardians of the Galaxy also filmed on this bridge as well. And then over on the right hand side there, behind the tree, the white building with the factory, it's home to Shakespeare's Road Theatre. I've first seen the windows burned down 400 years ago, when two actors put too much gunpowder into a cannon and set it off during a fire, burnt the whole building down. You'll see there's a red flag at the top of the theatre. There's a reason for this, everyone. A few hundred years ago in London, most of the population here could not read or write. So they used the flag system around the time of the show. So the red flag tells us the shows about history. When you see a white flag, there's a comedy, and when you see a black flag, it's about tragedy. But pick a dry day to go in there, folks. There's an open air theatre, there's no roof on it. But you can turn up there and watch a live show for £5. I guarantee you there's nowhere in London to watch a live show for just £5. Make the most of it. Ticket offices at the front, and they have an afternoon and an evening early performance. I think around about 6:30, 7 o'clock that starts. This is Southwark Bridge. It tells us on the right hand